Hello, my dear ones. With this video, we are opening a new series on etiquette and protocol, and we may even create a separate channel just for etiquette and protocol. Why did I decide to touch this topic? Because many of my students at the Rit'am School, especially the women, have been asking me to make videos like this. They were curious to see, from my perspective and from the perspective of the masters of the Rit'am School, a view of etiquette and protocol. Personally, I find this topic fascinating. My first main university degree is connected to political science, and of course, etiquette was part of that study. I learned it a very long time ago. But later, this subject became so interesting to me that I also received additional training as a professional protocol specialist. Why did it interest me so much? Because for me, protocol and etiquette, these traditions in human culture, Eastern and Western, are not just rules that someone decided to set. I wanted to understand what spiritual principles stand behind them and which rules of etiquette help us become kinder, more respectful to each other, more receptive, more accepting. How the respect of one person for another shines through, not simply this is pretty, this is not, this is right, this is wrong. And from exactly this point of view, first of all, a spiritual one, we will explore etiquette and protocol together here. And we have a lot of interesting things ahead. Of course, we will cover table manners, dress codes, and many interesting details for women. When is it appropriate to wear a low neckline? Today is a festive day for me. I'm wearing one. And when is it not appropriate? Which jewelry to wear with what? When you must wear heels to an event, and when you can do without them, we will definitely discuss all of that. But most importantly, we will also study more subtle things, how not to offend or humiliate another person through your behavior, how to make it so that people feel comfortable and at ease in our presence. That will be the foundation of what we learn here, along with important topics like dress codes, dining etiquette, and even international high-level protocol. I think this series will be interesting for many who care about etiquette and protocol. And today, since this is only our opening video, let's start practicing a little etiquette acrobatics with our fingers. We will have a special kind of acrobatics when we learn how to hold a wine glass correctly, because it can be surprisingly difficult and very few people do it properly. But today, on a very English-themed topic, how to hold a teacup correctly, because that is finger acrobatics too. I specifically brought 2 cups of tea. This is just a little teaser to begin our training and make it interesting for you. When I was a child, my mother used to tell me, Anochka, if you are in a respectable place, and honestly, start practicing right away. Never, ever put your index finger through the handle of a cup. I couldn't understand how that was even possible. I was so small. My fingers were tiny, and the cup they gave me was quite large and heavy with tea. And still, I'm grateful to my mother. From childhood, I absorbed the idea that these interesting rules exist, and even at a very young age, I began practicing this fun technique. If you watch how people who truly love protocol drink tea, it becomes a whole poem. Each person has their own dance. How do they hold the cup when the index finger does not go into the handle? At home, if you've never paid attention to this, you can practice. It's quite fun. And it's interesting to watch in English films. Recently, I rewatched Miss Marple. I love that 1980s series. The way that elderly lady holds her cup is so beautiful. They drink tea often because it's England, and each gentleman holds the cup in his own way, especially those from an aristocratic circle, and each woman has her own signature style. Miss Marple held it beautifully. Now we will try to repeat it. Personally, I hold it like this. And by the way, first rule, remove the teaspoon from the cup right away. Because if you drink with the spoon still inside, you will embarrass yourself instantly. Now, if the cup is small, you can really do some acrobatics. You can even curve the fingers a little. A small cup is very convenient. By the way, in the film Miss Marple did not always drink from such a small cup, because the English love tea, truly love it. Maybe when someone originally designed this protocol, it was meant for tiny coffee cups, and later it transferred to teacups. History is silent, but still, in the protocol of any European tradition, you will find this idea. And ideally, you shouldn't drink from huge mugs anyway. There is wisdom in that too. Drinking too much tea is not necessary, and drinking it from big jar mugs with a handle is not really needed. But still, I specifically brought two cups. This one, as you can see, is larger. It was sold in a tea set as a teacup, and yet, if you are in England, or even at any form of reception, it is not so easy to hold. The index finger still should not go through the handle. So what do we do? Practice. Let's always look for the usefulness in protocol and learn it with joy. And besides the serious spiritual ideas, you are also training your fingers and joints. This is very good for health. So we can still say thank you to the person who invented it. For example, I hold a bigger cup like this. I support it with the other fingers, like this. See? And look, this is also a nice demonstration of beautiful women's nails. We will study that too, because there are many debates. What kind of manicure is appropriate? When it's appropriate? When it's not? And whether only a French manicure is acceptable in a respectable place. We will cover all of that from the perspective of etiquette science. Now, back to holding the cup. If you watch men, English gentlemen often hold it like this. Their fingers are larger, and they simply hold it with all the fingers like this. And Miss Marple held it exceptionally beautifully. In the film, she managed to hold it like this. Her fingers were like this, and she supported it with the lower fingers. I actually adopted that after watching the series. Before that, the way I was taught at home and later at university, I held it differently. To your health, my dear ones. Drinking tea to health is wonderful, not only wine. See, like this. While the next video is being filmed, I assume it will be because I have many plans for this year. I think that by the time you see this, a big video about this new year will already be posted and why it's important to have many plans this year. But for a start, I think we will film our protocol and etiquette videos once every 2 weeks. In about 2 weeks, expect something new and interesting. And for now, practice with your teacup. I love you. Until our next interesting meetings. Bye bye.